Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to discuss about default methods in Java 8. In last video we discussed about what are the changes in interfaces. So we explained about the default and static methods, why they introduced. Now in this session we are going to discuss one by one. Okay. So today discussion is default default methods in interface. Okay. So till 1.7 the way of implementation is different, and 1.8 introduce the new features, so the way of implementation is different. So let's start with what is interface. Okay, interface is an abstract. Okay, it has abstract behavior. It will provide only contract details. So based on the requirement, the class which need that behavior that implements this interface and should override. Let's explain. Okay, now we have an interface called payment, and initially we developed with only pay. Void as the return type. Okay, constant, and it has abstract. So now UPI payment want the pay interface. Okay, then they override the payment interface. So they implement the payment interface and override the pay, and they will start implementing the logic there, like class UPI payment implements. Okay, payment, and override void method, override void pay method. This is payment, and the logic which has we will write here, and we'll use this method. Okay, so we have only limited, as we started initially, we have only with the limited requirements. With limited requirements, so we done the changes. Okay, till it is clear, right? Now it's been 2 years. 2 years we deployed these changes in the production, and all customers are using, and everything fine. Now we added a now we had a requirement called the new requirement. So it's an incremental model, right, generally. So any new features coming, so then we'll add on top of the existing features, and we'll release everything as everything in the production. Now the new thing is that new payment method is, suppose, refund it k. The problem here is, by like, till it's been 2 years, right? So thousand thousands of classes in the application uses this payment interface. Okay, so now if I want to add these as the refund for this thousand of classes, I need to override. Okay, but this refund may require 1,000 classes and may not require. The case here is it may not require, only 10 classes required these as the behavior. The rest of the classes are not required. For them those are optional. If something comes in future, they will implement those logic, but till when the require comes, only these 10 related clients ask you to provide the implementation for this refund. Okay, so anyhow, based on the client specific requirements only we will work on, right? If tomorrow some other operator comes, and someone client comes and they mention it as the this is our behavior, then based on that we will work, right? Here it's okay, but now we are going to add one method, refund, in the payment interface. Okay, interface payment, where we have already wide pay as the existing method. Now we are going to add a refund method. Okay, we have earlier n number of methods. Now this is the new one. In this case, whether you are using or not using refund, you need to forcefully override all the classes which implementing the payment interface. Otherwise, we will get compile time error. Till Java 7, this is mandatory. The implementation classes should override the methods which are there in the implementation interface. If not, you will get the compile time error. This is not an optional. So the line, the one line which you are going to add this void refund will break all production code, right? Production classes in the application. So it costs more, right? Again, you need to add all the methods as as you performed as you made changes on all 1,000 classes. You need to perform unit testing on 1,000 because the new changes should not break the existing changes, right? If it is break, then it's waste of doing adding one change on top of the application, right? Okay, here, because this one line change, it is breaking the application, right? So why Sun Microsystem, like if you see, we have libraries, right? Like JDBC, servlets. So these are libraries which have only APIs, abstract. The vendors will provide implementation like JDBC, servlets, Oracle. Like JDBC drivers will, or we have multiple, right? Oracle, uh, Sun Microsystem, those we provided, right? So based, they have these are the abstract, right? They have only interfaces, contract details. Based on the implementations, they will override and they will start implementing their own. In this case, in Java 8, okay, for each, and for example, for each and uh, stream API, okay, these they thought to add in the collection. So till 1.7, we don't have any like interface does not have support implementation. So they have created a separate class called collections as an utility where they provide maintaining the utility behavior. But these are is going to add so on iterations of the collections. So it should be there in the collection common classes. We have add, remove. So these are common methods, right? How we have add, these are the common methods in the collection. Like these, for each and streams are going to add in the interface. So if they add in the interfaces, you need to forcefully write override in the list, sorted set. So these are the interfaces, right? You need to forcefully override. Like this, they have n number of classes. So all should override. Till now it is clear, right? Okay. So that's why Java 8's simple but powerful solution is they introduced default one, the default keyword. With the default keyword, we can write implementation directly interface itself. Okay, how it should be is we have interface payment, right? In payment, we have already pay and other methods. Now we are going to have refund, default void refund. We have logic. It supports default mode. As it has default, we will write the implementations here and we can able to achieve uh, uh, we can able to achieve the default behavior. Means now you added the refund, right? The 1,000 classes no need to implement. and if you didn't implement, there is no compile time error. Okay, because it is just optional. Default method is an optional. If you want, then the behavior will be applicable. If you don't want, then it's an optional, so no trigger, nothing will happen. So here no compile time errors, everything is clear, and we will just make the whichever we want the behavior, will add the changes, and will release the changes into the production, so customer can use those. So that's what, with the default methods, you no need to worry about existing classes. Whichever want the 10 classes, the 10 classes you will use, and the remaining 990 classes you will just ignore. I mean, you no need to worry about those things, because those will anyhow it's optional. Then who will execute this default method? How? So what are the checks behind that? So the priority is, if default method does not override in the child class or class, then the parent class method will execute. Parent class means interface method. You got right? So JVM, how it will take as a priority is, so first JVM looks for the, let me explain with this example. So here we have interface A, which have default void m1 as the method. Now we have a class called class test, which implements a interface, and if you override that, you can override. Now you didn't override, okay, ignore. Now want to access this one, right? Main, executing from main. So test t equal new test t dot m1 you can call. Or if you want to access, there is a overridden method, show method inside the interface. Here how can we access this? We can access interface name, sorry, interface name super dot method name. This way you can access. So here how JVM will check, at the moment when we define when we instance an object and we call on top of the instance, okay, the JVM will check the respective instance method. So M1 method will check where the respective class test, whether test has M1 method or not. Okay, if it is there, then it is going to execute. If not, then it is going to check superclass. If superclass also does not have it, then it is going to the interface. Interface has M1 method, then it is going to execute. So how it was there in the Java 7 is, so Java 7, directly the method will be looking into the class, and if class does not have that method, then it is going to the uh, uh, no method, some compile time error, method not found error. Okay, so here interfaces will check only at the time of compile time. Runtime it is not going to happen in the Java 7, but Java 8 we implemented real methods, real behaviors. Implementation at runtime also the triggering part will be there. Now you got some clarity, right? Here my question is, okay, I have interface A have void show, okay, show method, and this is default, okay, and same interface B I have, where default void show we have same method. Now, when we implement a class test with the both interfaces, then will it work? Don't we get any compile time errors? So the JVM will raise an error because it is an ambiguity, right? Does not know which method I should take. Here it is a multiple inheritance diamond problem. Earlier we have in the classes. So we cannot achieve multiple inheritance through classes, and we can achieve interfaces. Now interfaces have default methods. Then here also we're getting the same issue, right? That's why here we can override show method, where we can call the respective interface method. Suppose if I want show method of a interface, then a dot super dot show. If I want b dot b method, b dot super dot show. This way, multiple inheritance we can achieve using default methods. Okay. Now I have one more question. So interface A has default behavior, and interface B has only abstract. Okay. Instead of show, we can say print. So then the class test implements A B. Now what what should we do? Should we override two methods? And how the priority will be? Any guesses? Here the JVM have priority. Okay. How is, first it will check uh, does any of interfaces has abstract method. If the abstract method is there, then this is the high priority. If abstract method is not there, then default methods. Okay. So we can override the default methods if you couldn't, if you're not able, like if you not satisfied with the parent behavior, then you can override. You can override and you can override and you can add your own implementation. So this how JVM will work in the interfaces. Okay. These are all Java 8 default methods. Take an example till we discuss, right? Those things we'll discuss in the IntelliJ. Like we'll take some sample codes and we'll check whether it is executing with respect to priority or not. Okay, let's start with the first one. Interface have payment. Okay, payment, and it has pay method. It has only abstract. It does not have any implementation. Okay, now I have retaken a new class that implements pay interfaces and should override the one which we have abstract. Okay, one second. Override, right? Implement method. We have pay. So we have this payment method. Payment done. Okay. Now if you want to access this, so we'll create a main and we'll create an object for UPI payment. So how we call this method is with respect to the object. Now if you call this, so you'll get the payment done method. This is clear, right? So until like till 1.7 this is fine. Now could not load a class. Wait, what what happened when 1 second? Yeah, it's done. Earlier maybe something went wrong. Okay, now it's done. Now I just added in the payment interface one method called public void refund. Okay, okay. Yeah. Now we have added new method called refund. I don't think size is visible, so let me increase the size. Okay, font size. 12. Let me add 30. Okay, now I hope it is visible. Now when I add this method in the interface, the implementation class have issues because we need to forcefully override this implementation methods. This is we have issue. So because of this, it does not have, when we move to the next version, it does not have backward compatibility. Actually, I forgot to mention this point. So due to the default methods, we can achieve the backward compatibility. So the same way, suppose now I changed instead of abstract method, default unprovided and implementation. Okay. Now if you see, no issues. When you run, so payment method, because the invoke it does not happen, right? For example, I should write here interface name payment method dot super or that method name refund. Now it has invoking, right? Now it will run. See, refund done. Even the refund method, if you didn't implement, then no issue. If you override, then okay. If you didn't override, then the default method will going to execute, and the invoke, if you invoke, then only it is going to execute. Okay, I hope you understand. Yeah. If you like, if you found the video is helpful, like please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. We are going to discuss each and every features from Java 8 to 9, 10, 11, and also we discuss Spring Boot and microservices along with the design, system design as well. We're going to add one by one in detail. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Yeah. See you in the next video. Bye bye.